Know what you need to do?
What the hell?
So, my first concern on the slide rack, when I just looked at it, this pivot point is too far back. So if you connect the steering rod, or steering fucking whatever the fucks, you connect that to it, it doesn't have enough forward. So if you go to full lock, it almost goes to parallel, which is wrong. If you do that, your carrier can go past the pivot point and get stuck in that position. And if you stay in that position too long, it'll burn out your servo, just by the way. So what I do is I move that pivot point more forward. So what I'm talking about is, if you look here, this guy here needs to be more inside the arms, like that. So what I have is these awesome little TN spacers. I'm sure there's a million different companies that makes them, but these ones are from TN, and these ones are, if you look at my Mr. Vernier caliper, you'll see it says 8 on it. So 8 millimeters, throw them on there. Still the same screw that you had on there. You don't need the black little spacer anymore though. So we'll take that out, but we'll still use the same little ball end and screw that on there. And then, yeah, Bob's your uncle. Oh, I see. So I'm gonna have to throw some kind of a spacer in there, right? Which is fine. And then you'll screw them on where these were at first. So in this little bag of tricks, you'll see there's a million things that comes in here. Like, you have the little toolkit, pretty sexy. You have like the battery mounts, servo horns, more stuff for the servo. You have some grease. Don't be using that. Well, you can use that on your CVDs. I don't suggest you do that when you're driving outside because it becomes grinding paste. But anyway, 300 weight oil, body mount, front bumper. Don't see myself using that at all. This beautiful little carbon plate to keep your posts on. We'll probably use that. And then here we have all kinds of cool screws, body pins, and then shims, which is what I'm looking for. So you take these shims, we'll probably double up 2 of those bags or 2 of those shims to space it out. And I'll show you with a GoPro in 1 second here. Some awesome little hardware bags. Can always be handy. Anyway, just cut open the shim bag. Shim bag, it should be a cuss word. Hey, you're a shim bag. Yeah, probably take 1 of the big ones, 2 of the small ones. That would be enough. I would throw that on this TN spacer and then screw on the little ball end that was, and you'll see it's, once again, it's perfect. So long that thread doesn't stick out at the top, you're safe. As soon as it does, it's rubbing inside the ball end, right? Or in the ball cup. So there you go. All sexy. Ready to go. Throw that back onto your slide rack. Yeah, it's kind of tricky, this one, but not impossible. I'll show you in 1 minute. It's funny how they made this one on the slide rack a Phillips. Don't know why. Oh, well, yeah, it's a tapered head, so maybe that's why. Anyway, screw that back into the TN. Now, I see that that's too, the Phillips head is too long now to screw into the tin. So, we'll have to find a shorter tapered head. In this bag, once again, billion of cool things. Some 2mm tapered heads. Jam those, take the longest ones, throw that in the back end. I'd probably throw in a little Loctite or nail polish or whatever you have to make it lock. So, throw that back in the back. You'll see it won't sit nice and flush, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how it sits, because it's not going to rub against something at all. Take your 5.5, grab it from the front, 2mm in the back, tighten it nice and tight. You don't want that to come undone. And bang. As you guys will see, now I've definitely moved this pivot point more to the middle here. Right? That's exactly what I want. I want to move that as close to the middle as possible. And the rad thing with these, you can probably move them all the way into where the diff used to sit. You can move it all the way up in there, which means you can have a ridiculous angle with this car. So much so, man, almost 90 degrees if you want. Anyway, so I'll show the GoPro real quick what I did. I moved the pivot point from here to there, right, is what I want. And it makes it better throw. Anyway, next up after this junk, I will be doing how to build the shocks on this guy. Most important part.